It just broke via Variety, all Oscar categories to air live after Hollywood protest.
See, okay. You know what? This guy should be fired right now. The guy in charge of the Academy Awards should be fired right now. The popular film category, this decision, like, stop messing with what we enjoy. And all this ratings talk needs to go the hell away, man. Just one night, show the Oscars. Let's, all of us who love film, let us do it, and let's move on. I don't know why this is such a big deal.
To read a little bit about what they're actually reporting here. Following a Thursday night meeting with top cinematographers, Academy leadership, including President John Bailey and CEO Dawn Hudson, have pledged to air every awards category on the live show a week from Sunday. The decision comes after backlash from irate filmmakers and craftspeople who responded to the Academy's decision to relegate 4 awards categories to commercial breaks. So actually, we spoke about this on Movie Talk the other day, and I really want to get your take on it, given this update here. Is there any solution here where we can have the best of both worlds, where we can honor what the Oscars stand for and mean, but also improve ratings on the telecast, or does one have to take priority?
Okay. It's tough because to me, the Oscars are a place for people to come and enjoy film and be reminded about why they fell in love with film. I don't know when this ratings issue started to happen. So you ask yourself, Perry, what you said, can we find the best of both worlds? I don't know if that's possible. I think it all depends on when you find the right host that brings people in here and gets them excited to see the Oscars again, like Billy Crystal did, even to a lesser extent Ellen DeGeneres did when she hosted. I enjoyed her hosting stint on the show. So I think it'll depend on the host, not necessarily the movies. I think it'll depend on the host. So when you find the right host that mixes with this, then maybe, Perry, we can get all the categories and bring the ratings in. But I will say one thing. Hey, John Bailey, with that statement you released saying, "Oh, I did this with the support of the guilds," what now? What now when the guilds came forward and said no and came back at you and made you sue? I mean, you've got to deliver an incredible mea culpa here.
What you got, Dennis?
I'm the opposite of Roke. I don't think it's the host. I think it is the movies. I think it's the type of movies that you're nominating and you're bringing in so that people feel like they almost are rooting, like a sports team, right? You do a lot of Collider sports stuff.
Yes.
They're rooting for their movie and their thing. And then so when you have, let's say, and this has been a pattern, you know, in the past where it's like a bunch of small movies. We'd joke about how like all 9 or 10 Best Picture nominees couldn't even equal like one blockbuster movie, you know, in terms of box office sales. You need people to be interested. And I'm not saying we go with that stupid popular box office movie. Yeah. What I think they're doing right is diversifying the Academy, especially with younger people and them getting there, and just broadening the horizons and the genres that we can nominate instead of just the same type of kind of indie drama. I love indie dramas, don't get me wrong, but they don't all, 9 of them, 10 of them have to be indie dramas that are maybe at most slightly committed. Can't we just nominate like a straight up comedy? Can we nominate
That's a great question for Perry.
We can, but I feel like we're not going to know if the change in the Academy and the more diverse Academy group we have now will ever change that, because they've had so many other changes, crazy changes happening around it. But I think that gets at the core of it. And I know people are going to, oh, like, you're too optimistic, it's too idealistic, you value the Oscars too much. I know the whole speech, but I really do believe that if the priority is on what the Oscars mean and celebrating that and what just the film community and telling different stories means to the entire body that votes on the Academy Awards, I feel like if that is where the importance is placed over broadcast ratings, we'll wind up seeing them balancing out. If we have an entire community being super enthusiastic about the films that are nominated, and in particular, if we have the Academy naturally evolving, we're going to get more movies in the future like Black Panther. I mean, we've seen it in the past couple of years in terms of just, you know, the award season noise that let's say Deadpool made, Logan made, with Get Out getting nominated. Now this year, Black Panther becoming the first superhero movie to get a Best Picture nomination. We're seeing signs of this change that could go right into what you were saying about the different kinds of movies we could see naturally earning nominations all on their own without a popular film category. So I feel like if they stop messing with the actual ceremony in order to manufacture good ratings, they might actually naturally get them on their own while upholding the value of the Oscar statue.
Yeah, that's very well said. And I think film goers have to take a bit of responsibility here too, because there are certain types of movies that fit their tastes, and those are the movies that the studios are putting out. Those are the movies that are making money and doing what they're doing. So these independent dramas are being revered by critics like Perry and Scott Mance and Schneider on the FYC, but the more popular, where's our Godfathers? Where's the old, these old films that were popular and also artistically well done? Where are those films nowadays? It's really tough to find.
They're on
when
television.
you slide out of independent, right? When you slide out of the independent drama, they're tough to find. When you look at the popular box office hits, the artistic merits of them aren't as valuable overall as you see in the independent film dramas.
Oh boy. Oh boy, this conversation is just going to keep continuing over the next week too.
And then people were
evolving.
talking about, okay, before, right now they're saying they're going to air all of them, right? The ones that they hit, or there was talk about, hey, why don't they just cut the kind of the shorts, like the live action short, the documentary short, and the what was the animated short, and put those. And those, look, I mean, it's fantastic they have those, but those are a little harder for the audience to get into because there's no access for. People are not going like to a theater watching these short live action films. They're just not available for people.
Well, there's that. Well, they are. They're in theaters now. I don't know how wide it goes, but you can actually buy a ticket to all the short films and see them in theaters right now, and I highly recommend it. I finally watched all the live action ones, and they're all 5 of them are great. But with the shorts thing, I think that was the only way for the Academy to get away with taking certain categories out of the live broadcast, because you can't just pluck out one short category, cinematography, editing, makeup, and hairstyling, but you can say the broadcast is for feature films, and this other, maybe let's say a live streaming ceremony, is for short films. I don't think they would have had the same uproar if that was the decision that was made.
No,
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about the fundamentals of filmmaking, like what makes something a movie, cinematography and editing. There's like, how can you have those movies without them?